Hi, I noticed that there weren't any modern tutorials out there for making USTs, so I wanted to make one. So this is how I personally make my own USTs. I first download the MP3 of the song that I'm wanting to cover, and then I drop it into a website called TuneThat. And this will very quickly give me the tempo and key of the song, which is really helpful because I wouldn't be able to figure that out myself. I then drag the MP3 file into FL Studio, and at the top right here, using your cursor, you can drag up and down to change the tempo. Next to arrangement, you're going to want to press the song and then press pattern 1. This will allow you to create a pattern on your timeline for your MIDIing. This little button here is the metronome, which allows me to figure out if the song is aligned correctly. This part's a little awkward because it did take me a little time to figure out if it was on beat or not. Once I get that situated, I go up to the top left corner, press add, and typically I use FL keys because it sounds like a piano, but you can use anything that you see fit. I then go to this little button right here and delete anything that isn't FL keys, just so things don't get confusing. So the only thing that you're going to be wanting is your track for your MIDIing. Then press view, piano roll. This will take you to your timeline where you'll be creating the sequence for your vocals. Make sure that you select whatever it's called. Just to make sure I randomly place some notes down to make sure that it was all working. The whole process is basically replicating the main vocal line. And during this video, you will see me struggle a lot. This little button right here allows you to change what's called the step, which means how many little beats are in there. So oftentimes I'll use 1/4. I don't recommend doing none because then your notes won't properly be timed and will kind of sound a little off. So I always recommend 1/4. This little sequence is just me playing around with the different options to see what best fits the song. You'll notice that I speed things up a lot here. It's because this process isn't just clear cut. It's very time consuming, so I don't want to bore you. So here's a little time lapse. With this song, I did not do the entire song, I just did a little snippet of the song, just to show the process. Because if I did the entire song, I feel like this video would be like 30 minutes long.
The crazy whirlwinds blow us from the corners of my mind.
Once you're done your MIDI, you're going to want to remove the song from the grid by right-clicking. Then you're going to go to Tools, Macros, and then Prepare for MIDI Export. You can press OK right here. then you're going to want to go to File. I'll zoom in right here on the screen. File, Export MIDI file. And then you can just pretty much save it wherever. Press Start. These settings don't really matter. Now it's time to open openutau. File, Import Tracks, and then you import your MIDI. I always move it to the first one, and then remove the other track because I don't like too many tracks. It's a little overwhelming. To access, you can double-click. Now sometimes, it might be a little too high for your vocalist. For this example, I'm going to be using Adachi Ray C+V because I love this voice bank. This is a little too high for me, so if you notice that it's not fitting your vocalist, you can select all or press Ctrl A. Batch edits, notes, and then changing the octave up or down depending on if you have a male or female vocalist. Then it's time to input your lyrics. So I personally like to go individually, but there is a setting in openutau where you can copy and paste the lyrics and then edit accordingly. But just for the sake of showing, I'm doing it individually. I don't like the length of these notes, so I'm making them longer so it fits the song better. So what I like to do is I like to tune as I'm making the UST just so it saves me time. It feels like I'm getting it done faster when realistically I think I'm just finishing it at the same speed. Worldline isn't very friendly with Ray's C+B, so I changed the resampler here, just because I wanted to hear how it would sound. When I make my UST files, I always have the lyrics up in a tab, just so I can see them and reference them. This is the little menu I was talking about. You can edit the lyrics, and they'll automatically go onto the notes. I like to be a little more precise, and I like to torture myself, so I go through all the notes individually. As you can see here, I did mess up the lyrics, so I went in and fixed it. You can also, while you're making your UST, open the instrumental or the original version. I like to have the instrumental so I can hear how it would somewhat sound. This little section is me struggling to line it up with the instrumental. So once you're done your UST, you go to File, Save As, and you can save it anywhere. And that's how you make a UST file for openutau. This little section is just very short. This is how to make a UST file in openutau itself. It's a similar process but without the usage of FL Studio. It requires less steps. So with openutau, make sure that in the top left corner you change the tempo because you don't want to be making a UST file on the wrong tempo. It sucks, trust me. Once again, I will be using Adachi Ray for this example. So this section is just me lining up notes with the original file. Many people like to use FL Studio and make MIDIs because it can come out more precise. Obviously, I'm not going to make the whole UST, but yeah, that is the gist on how to make files for openutau. Please leave a comment if you need help. I am always here to assist. Thank you for watching.